driveway and saw him in the yard still. That was one of the happiest moments ever. Because who knows when the gate got opened, and I know if there was a dog that had gone by, he would have gunned it. So thank the Lord, there was just maybe people, but he was just sitting there in the yard. Yeah, that was crazy. We've never, and so like we always have the padlock on there too. So the fact that the padlock got left off, and the gate apparently wasn't shut all the way, like we legitimately thought somebody might have broken in, and no. Thank goodness.
We're talking about your doggy.
Yeah, it was crazy the other day. We came home and our gate was wide open, and the dog fortunately was still in the yard. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. We have so much great stuff to cover. This is such a wonderful time in the market. Statistics show it's one of the best markets ever, and when you compound all these factors, everything is lining up for us to be having the best year in real estate. So whether it's your first year getting started or it's your 20th year in real estate, this is a wonderful, wonderful time that we should be taking advantage of. So let's go ahead and kind of jump right in along with that. First off, well, breakthrough updates. We have, here's what I'm going to put up the right one here. Okay. Currently, we have closed 19 so far this year. We have, let's see the numbers here. We have 14 active listings. We have 6 currently pending listings. And 3 or 4, I'm having a tough time trying to track. It's hard tracking buyer transactions down, which ones are accepted where long, because they're not in the MLS. You can't. It'll show the listing person that it's pending, but it doesn't show anything for the buyer side. So as far as I know, we have 4 buyer side transactions as well. So that means we currently have either 9 or 10 active pending transactions as well as 14 listings. So we're trucking right along. And if you add that right up, we actually have more pending and going on right now than we have basically since the beginning of the year. So we got up to a kind of slow start January, middle of February, but come like the second week of February, we just exploded. So, awesome. Yeah, so congratulations everybody on that. And when you add up all the volume going on, we're basically going to just about double our volume instantly there too, which is actually going to take us, if you add up, and even if we lose 1 or 2, which probably will happen over the course of 20 transactions, we're actually going to put us up to right about 5 to 6 mil mark. Okay. And at the 6 mil mark, that puts us at the 2 million a month minimum, and we are rocking. So, and we're on track to even get ahead at that point. So keep up the great work, guys. That's all I'd say on that one. That goes into the perfect segue. I'm very, very happy for this moment. I'm not sure how many people are online looking, but you know, this is the end of the first quarter. This is the last week, and we went ahead and jumped the gun because unless something drastic happens in the next 3 days, which if it does, I'll gladly award a second agent of the quarter. This person, I'm just very happy to say, has come into her own over the last 6 months or so. Has worked really, really hard, stepped up on so many levels, has assumed so many roles, and has consistently done so along the way. But I'm happy to say that this year she's finally getting rewarded, and by rewarded I mean financially. She has listings, she has closings, she has her own business that she is managing. And because of that, she has closed over 6 deals so far this year. She's done total, she's closed about almost $1 million, but she has a couple listings and stuff that she's got in the works and everything like that. So I'm very happy to say that the first quarter 2018, Agent of the Quarter, is my mom, Charlotte Ezell.
Oh, sir, congratulations!
And you get the custom Molly-made certificate of the...
Yay! Oh, that's wonderful. You're serious?
I'm serious.
Oh.
How exciting is that?
That is. Oh my gosh.
So you will have your official plaque, your name on the plaque over there. So, congrats. All right, so let's jump into the continue on because the market is popping as we are seeing. So stat newsletter, we're going to kind of open up every month with the stat newsletter just because it helps us keep our pulse on the market, and we're seeing the continuing trends. We have, you see, 6,911 sales last month. This is for February, okay? Up 13.6 month over month, which always happens. Between January to February, you're coming out of the end of the year, Christmas, New Year's, which nobody sells their home and everybody puts their home on the market between the end of January and beginning of February. So you always see that jump up, right? 13.6%, that's a little drastic. Normally it's about 7, okay? Which indicates there, year over year comparison, we're up 7.4%. That falls right in line. 7.4%, who can tell me, historically speaking, for real estate, what is your average appreciation for a year that's kind of a stable market?
You mean as far as the total sales, or just talking about
Appreciation.
appreciation? Oh, I'm gonna say 5%, but I could be really low on that.
What'd you say? 5?
5%.
Okay. Any other guesses? What is the standard historical appreciation for real estate that's considered normal, healthy appreciation in real estate?
Oh, real estate.
Not quite that high, yeah. Historically, it's 4 to 5%, yeah,
Okay.
in a normal market. But that's not the only factor that we use, because what also happens? In a house, you have appreciation, right, going up while they're building equity, they're paying off their home, and then simultaneously, all your tax benefits. So if you add all that up, it's a great investment, especially when you have a renter paying off the mortgage. Absolutely. So it's a wonderful investment. So everybody thinks, oh, 4 or 5%. No, that's only part of the picture. So make sure we acknowledge this, but keep in mind the whole picture. So 4 or 5%. So when you're looking at 7.4% year over year, that's pretty good. So if you bought a house a year ago, that $200,000 house has now gone up $14,000 in value in a year.
That's amazing.
So there you go. Okay, so monthly sales, wonderful. I mean, it hasn't gone up that far. Sorry, that's the amount of sales. Sorry, but we've gone up that far. We'll go to that next one. Sorry about that. I got ahead. It's about the same. So anyway, total inventory. New inventory. There we go. Okay, so this is indicative of the same thing too, though. We have, every year we go up. So notice between December, January, February, we come up in new inventory because that's when everybody lists their home. But we've still actually come down just a little bit. So this is interesting. I'm not sure if this is what this
Almost seems
shows.
comparable to last year, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
they're pretty much in line, but we're actually down on both.
yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. New inventory's down.
So it's still saying we do not have enough homes for the number of people who are looking to buy.
Well, we didn't have enough homes to begin with, and now we have a dropping
we
amount
have
of
a
new
less.
inventory too. Yeah, that's interesting. So, yep, that says that it's probably going to get even stronger here. But at the same time, we're going to get to the next part where you also have interest rates going up. But because interest rates go up, mortgage people are not going to let their amount of loans stop by any means. So we'll get into that too. This is a fun meeting. We got a lot of cool stuff to go over. All right, so total inventory, 21,771. I am not a fan of this stat, okay? Now, here's why. You have your UCB, CBS here, okay? I don't know where these numbers come from, okay? So anybody tell me right now what you think the true active homes are. Take away the UCBs, take away the CBSs, take away all of that. How many active homes do you think we truly have right now? This number right here has the UCB and CBSs in there, okay?
I'm going to
Because,
say 16,000.
Let's say a little higher than
what do you think?
that.
17.5? Any guesses?
No.
Okay, so let's go ahead and take them away. Because right now, the fact is, if somebody loved that home, can they come in and put an offer in on it and get it accepted? Right now, you love this home, and you want to give them a $200,000 cash offer, and it's only listed for $150,000. Could they just accept it and move on?
They could if they wanted.
They're going to have a lot of crap with the current accepted offer. Yeah, you're going to have a whole lot of poop to pay on that one. So you just can't do it. And that's where I don't like those designations and why they get lumped automatically into active, right? So 16,936, this is truly active homes right now in the MLS. Keep in mind, that other number was from February, okay? So 16,936. Now let's come back to the stats and let's put these numbers together. Okay, so you have active UCBs, month supply, okay? It says 3.15 month supply. Okay? Do you agree with that number based on what we just discussed?
Almost 17,000 free active.
Okay, but there were 6,911 sales in the month of February. Okay. Six.
A little over 2, almost 3 months.
Just say 7,000,
Uh-huh.
right? 7, 14, 21.
So less than about 2.5 months for supply.
What would that make it? It's still a seller's market by
Mhm.
far. When you get over 3 months, you're starting to level off into a normal market.
Mhm.
Between 3 and 4 months, that's a normal market supply. So right now we are still blatantly, barely actually in a 2-month supply. We're actually, what would that be, like
Huh?
2.2 per month or something like that?
So like you
Yeah.
said, the fact that they have under contract or whatever included in active,
It's the only spot, yeah. I don't know
It's not
exactly how they
true.
calculate those numbers there. I can't say that to, but my numbers are different that I go off of. All right, so,
interesting, yeah.
yeah, okay, so yeah, 3.15, according to them, I would say closer to 2.3, 2.4 month supply maybe, okay? So, continuing on, you know, we're still staying. Last month we saw the same thing, plus a bit, but there we go, 7.3%. This is kind of what I was talking about, so they all kind of coincided. 9.8, and then your average sale here, okay? So we have our average price $250. They said their predicted price is going to drop just a bit. The actual sales price is up actually 9.8%. There you go. But the average sales price year over year is 7.9. So we're at 7.9%, which still takes that 200,000 to 14.
Which brings up the other interesting fact that when you look at then your average buyer, 252 is still going to be quote unquote more than what they qualify for.
It all depends. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, at that point in time, and this is where unfortunately our lenders were not able to meet with us today due to numerous circumstances. My bad on part of that. But yeah, 252,000. I would be interested to say what your, according to a lender, because your taxable, usable income, I would like to know what income would be needed to afford a $252,000 house.
Mhm.
If you are a single person trying to qualify for a home, how much money do you need to document to qualify for that house? And I'd like to see where that lines up for your average Arizona. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep going. Now, when you have, we're still going down distressed rental properties, distressed properties, all that stuff. So as long as that's the case too, what does that mean? No foreclosures. Just short sales are down. As long as that's still down, we are always looking good. And even if that hovers, we're still happy. So, wonderful.
It's down from last year.
Yep. Yeah, counted for a whopping 2.2% of sales. When, I can tell you, back in the day, it was like, for me, especially working with investors, it accounted for 90% of my sales when it was probably about 60 to 80% of the market. It was, you had bank-owned homes, short sales, auctions, trustee sales, and then primary resident, traditional sellers. It was crazy. So, okay, distressed sales, average days on market. This is
Now
kind of
that's
good.
interesting though, that is, what, 2.5 months?
Well, you know what that can be tied to directly?
The pricing
Exactly.
has everything to do with.
The discrepancy
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
Yep. List price, 384, 278.
Mhm.
Actual sales price, 308, 252.
Yeah.
What's the difference between there? That's 10%. It's a little over 10%, right?
Yeah, because you're looking at, just roughly 50,000, so.
When you're running comps on the homes that are selling, on your CMAs, what are you seeing? What's the average sales price to list price?
Oh. Well, I was just thinking in listing Les Bailey's home and stuff, actually, they were pretty comparable, I would say, because it was like in the high 190s.
But they're always a percentage up. So is it going to be your average, let's say it's a list price of 210 and it's sold for 200 on average. That would be
okay,
selling
okay.
price within 5%. So on our case, what are you seeing of those? Like you priced it where in hopes of selling it where because your average sale was within
I
what?
think it said 93%.
93%?
Yeah.
Okay. That's well, that's Black Canyon City, kind of a slightly unique situation there. I know when it came to like let's say Ocotillo, when it came to Yorktown,
Yep, Yorktown.
Yorktown, and I've been dealing with about 98% on average, within 2% of asking price. The one that I'm getting ready to list, hers is going to be under 200,000. I'm fully anticipating a full asking price
Now,
on that.
this is interesting because you owe me dinner.
I do.
Because when we were looking at what to list Linda Pinner's home for, and I had done my set of comps, my Josh did his set of comps and stuff, and I said, I really think that we could start here. And Josh was saying, nah, I think it's a little high, and it's like, well, how about if we start here? And so I made a bet with him, and I won my bet. But I was
You called
within,
it.
I was actually within about 5,000 and stuff. And so,
You called it. Yeah.
And we actually set the precedent for being the highest priced sold home in that neighborhood, so.
Yeah, she rocked it. That was awesome. I'll gladly be wrong on that all day, every day. Absolutely. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next spot. Now, who's been staying apprised of interest rates?
They are steadily increasing.
Yes, they are. We've already had one. I think they just announced the second one, or they did the second
Randall
one.
just posted a cool little video giving us an update.
Okay, so here's, I want you guys to be aware of, okay? Don't put too much into it, just be aware, so we act accordingly when we need to, okay? We need to be the ones that are the sounding board and the experts for our clients. So I'm letting you know about this, and we'll get into it afterward, but things are starting to line up, let's just say that. Okay, so check this out.
Citadel Financial is now offering a 5-1 arm, where the first year can be, drumroll please, interest only. Yeah, baby! Now, if this ain't the circle of life, I have no idea what is.
We're talking about it all.
Circle of life. You can see this, can't you? If you can't, here's how it goes.
Homes have gotten too expensive in most markets,
Yep.
so people quit buying homes.
Right.
Lenders then quit lending
Oh,
money.
money.
And that ain't any good,
No.
so they come out with an interest-only loan.
Yeah.
That way the borrower can get a house that would otherwise come with a payment that's too high.
Right.
But don't worry about that payment because you're going to refinance out of that loan eventually, and with values going up, guaranteed all the time.
So the first year passes. The borrower's making the payment and everything is good. Well, guess what? The principal didn't go down one nickel, now did it? So now in year 2, the borrower makes, a slightly higher payment, but it's still not so bad because home values, as Frank just told you, well, they're always going to go up, aren't they?
And now years 3, 4, and 5 move past in the blink of an eye, and you didn't refinance
Nope.
out of the house because rates never dropped below
Right.
your temporarily low rate. In fact, they went up, which means there's also more people just like you who've got these interest-only loans with adjustment periods, and home values haven't really gone up anymore. And because we just can't afford them, and then all of a sudden, it happened.
It does! Your 5-year anniversary is here! Yay! Uh-oh. Oops. You never afford whatsoever. And then these things start going off like firecrackers at a Chinese New Year celebration. Slightly. And when that happens, we all go, oh yeah, I remember this tune, as the rug gets pulled right out from underneath your feet.
Well, so is this gonna happen? Well, their senior VP, Will Fisher, said, we're going like gangbusters.
Whoa, that's good.
We're hiring like crazy.
Whoa.
A lot of folks have slowed down.
Uh-oh.
We've actually sped up.
Yeah.
January was our biggest month for submissions and our biggest funding month, and we're looking to surpass that. It's gonna be quite a year.
That's one hell of a statement there, Frank. That's right, guys. We agree. When everyone's slowing down because affordability is just so damn difficult for your qualified mortgage loans, these guys are, what did they say? Wait.
Speeding up.
What was it? Going like gangbusters.
That's what it was.
They're going like gangbusters.
And we fully expect that trend to continue. And truth be told, this is nothing like what we saw the last time around.
Right.
At least, not yet.
Right.
And understand, you can get on your moral high horse and say, I'm not gonna fund these deals.
I'm not
And
doing
that
it.
would be okay.
Yeah.
Because that client is just gonna walk down the street and find another loan officer that'll do it.
Yep.
Right? That's how it always was before.
Yep.
Guys, we don't set the standards for the loans. We just close and disclose, man.
Remember that. We close and disclose. That's what we do. We close and disclose. If you're going to do limited doc interest-only ARMs with 6-something credit scores, make sure those docs are as thick as an old unabridged dictionary and your borrowers have no room to say that they didn't know what they were getting into when you fund that deal.
And I'll tell you another thing. If you start to see companies using trumped up figures like overtime you've had for, I don't know, a solid 6 months.
Right.
Or all too generously grossing up income here and
Right,
there.
remember that?
And run for the hills, man.
Right.
I'm not saying this is gonna happen, just saying it could. I mean, they're going
They
gangbusters.
said gangbusters.
Because there's a big demand for lower standard loans.
How low can you go? How low can you go?
That was pretty good. I didn't even know that song.
Doing the hand job, baby. How low can you go?
Yeah. All right, well, you guys have a great day. Let us know what your thoughts are on this loan product, and I'm sure they're going to tell us, that's nothing new. There's this guy in that company and that company.
And it's nothing against Citadel, and frankly,
No.
we like Alt-A programs. We said you should have brought them back a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But, and you know, this could go the right way, but it could also go the wrong way.
Gotta be careful.
You know what I didn't see? I'd be curious to find out. If you guys know this, let me know what the index and margin on those suckers are. You know, if they have like a 5 margin or one of these, or is it like a 2.5, 3 margin?
And then the caps too, whatever they might be.
Right, the caps could be, you know, that'd be a big part of this thing, but,
Anyway, let us know. We'd love to hear your thoughts. You guys have a great day. Do us a favor, forward, share, and subscribe. We'll catch you all later here.
later.
I mean, if they can't afford it now, what makes them think in 5 years they're gonna be able to afford it then? That's what's so stupid about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we go again.
Let's see. I wish I knew more. I see you're here and Fred. Yeah, Fred. Anyway, okay. So the loans exactly. As affordability gets tougher, it comes back to the lenders. How do we stay in business? How do we keep the flows, the cash flow coming? And then they get creative. And then as they get more and more creative, things continue to happen. And so we saw less than 2 months ago for all of 2017, the majority, more than, what was it, 80% of loans were conventional loans with nice sized down payments. So for the whole 2017, buyers were very, very, very strong. There's nothing wrong with ARMs, as long as it's the right people getting them for the right reasons, okay? Your average person buying their primary residence should be very leery of taking out an arm. Under no circumstances, in my opinion, unless it's a very temporary, on purpose, in rare circumstances, should they be used. You know, let's say, for example, you just moved here, you're on a probationary period with your job, you've been in that job for decades, and you haven't been able to prove your income, or you're doing something new, or something like that. You see, there's certain ones, or I'm getting ready to get a big settlement statement, we found the perfect home at the perfect time, so we're only planning on keeping this loan for 6 months anyway, here we go. You know, things like that. Under what circumstances, and this is an honest question, what circumstances do you think a primary residence should take out an arm? And I'd like to know the other, on the flip side, why shouldn't they? Because you need to be able to communicate this to your clients very, very well. It's not our job to do loans, but it's our job to help them as homeowners make the right decision.
What about like a new construction? You know, that then in 6 months when the home is complete, then you know, refinance, or is that something totally different?
Now, when you do a new build, all the financing is worked in upfront. So yeah, it's not bridge financing.
No, what I was thinking, like I buy a piece of property and I'm gonna put a home on it.
Yeah, that's a different type of, that's more of a construction loan of a type bridge. They're similar structured where they're kind of interest only until you're going to sell it a lot of the time, but it's not the same thing. We're talking a primary residence, a person just flat out buying a home using that type of loan.
I can't think of a reason why. I'm sorry, I can't think of a reason why.
Well, because we know the downside too.
Yeah, but I'm thinking even like you just said, Josh, you know, that I'm getting this big inheritance or whatever it is, this settlement, and you know, but I you know, I can get this home now and then in 6 months I can refinance, possibly, but other than that, I don't think it would work.
Yeah, you really, there's very few, and I was hoping you were going to come to that decision, okay? Because, well, let's begin this. What's the difference between a primary residence, your primary home, and being an investor?
Well, you've got more at stake in your primary residence. An investor just gives and takes.
Well, it's a strategic thing. You're valuing a home for profit and loss. Mm-hmm. You're going into this with, this is my goal, which is either going to be short-term or long-term. You're either going to try to flip this, buy here, right? And you're going in knowing that you make your money going in, not in the hopes we're going to appreciate 6 months. Mm-hmm. That's not how investors work. On the other side, you're planning a long-term investment, in which case you are going to take out a loan. You are going to leverage. But the whole point of that is to what? To have a tenant paying down that mortgage, right? Okay, we've all bought cars, we've all bought homes. We all get that breakdown of our loan at the end, okay? How much does your home actually cost if you keep it for 30 years?
That much more than the
Okay, let's just say you keep your home for 5 years. Okay,
That's
in that
so
5 years of you paying your loan, how much have you paid off on your home?
Not much, not in 5 years out of 30. No.
Okay, so no matter what, let's say you keep your home for 5-6 years, how much money would you truly need to profit if we're going to equity play from your home? Your primary residence, you're going to flip it, like you're going to take out that arm, only bet interest only, so you're not paying down your mortgage at all, right? But you're still making monthly payments, you're still doing all this stuff. See, how much money is that home really going to cost you? You have insurance, you have all your utilities, you have anything that might come up, right? Is that an investment? Is that an investment, truly? Is that a sound investment strategy for the most part? Should you, even during that time, would it probably benefit you to take out probably a conventional loan and even still put a different down payment down and actually pay it down just a little bit or whatever? I mean, under very, 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 very few circumstances does it make sense to buy with an arm, okay? Because that is the wrong perspective on a primary residence to begin with. Let's go back to our grandparents. Okay? Did your grandparents ever say, I'm buying this home because we're gonna make $50,000 off of it in the future?
No, they bought it because that's where they're gonna live till they die.
Exactly, okay. And somewhere along the line, I guarantee that they even refi so that way they could probably, what, pay off the home faster?
Or actually
Get rid of their payments?
I don't
Do improvements? Yeah, because it's their home. But they're gonna refi, try to pay off that home. Their whole goal was to have that home and pay it off,
Yeah.
okay? Now, fast forward to retirement. And you're gonna hear me preach this a couple times a year because I fundamentally, wholeheartedly believe in home ownership for the right reasons. And I also believe in investing for the right reasons, okay? So, when let's just say you bought your home at the age of 30, you're now 50 years old,
I have 10 years left in my home.
okay? Or if you did good, you might have had a 15 or 20-year mortgage, you might have refied. I mean, that will save you so much money, truly, right? Okay? God forbid something happens, life-changing event, okay? You're either unable to work, you have a medical bill, you have to take time off from work, your kid goes to jail, you gotta bail him out, whatever it might be. You know, who knows? There's all kinds of events, right? What do you do? Okay? If you're renting a home, or if you have a $4,000 a month mortgage, what's gonna happen?
You're gonna end up losing your home.
Okay?
After 20 years of investment,
You have-
you'll lose your home.
You have no equity in your home, and you've got bills to pay. Can you refi? Are you liquid at all? No. It's the security involved that only owning a home can give you. If you have stocks, good luck trying to liquidate those stocks and have money in your pocket tomorrow. You know, worst case scenario, you have a lot of options. You can sell your home, you can refi your home. It can be used as collateral against things, worst case scenario. I don't suggest that because that's kind of what we're talking about. But when you're 60 years old and you don't have a home payment, okay, because you now bought your home at 30, you now had it for 30 years. Congratulations. You're 60 years old. What kind of retirement difference will that make for the majority of people? Not having a $1,200, $1,600, $3,000 a month house payment.
They have security.
Okay, exactly. Right, you have taxes, you have your HOA. Oh no, God forbid, my taxes went up 20%. It's not the end of the world, is it? No. Oh man, our HOA assessed us. Doggone it. You know, it's a level of security that I think most people have lost sight of. Okay? Now let's add on to that, along the lines, we actually taught them how to invest in real estate. Okay, so somewhere along the line, they got a good tax return. That's the other benefit of owning a home. You got a decent tax return, and you decide, let's go buy a property. Now, on the other hand, now they have a second property that's tenant occupied, that's cash flowing a couple $100s a month, not a lot, $200 a month. Okay, but they're not spending that $200. It's just going directly into an account. So now they have a house that they've had for 20 years that they bought because they bought it 5 years into it. Or let's say they have two homes. They bought one at 5, one at 10, right? Okay, so now over the years, that tenant has paid down that mortgage. They have a bigger net worth. They've had the tax benefits, everything like that. And now they've actually, if they want, they have one home that's very well paid off and another one that's decently paid off. And they're retiring.
Yeah,
Now what does their retirement look like? They can refi that first house, and they can cash flow a lot. They can sell one, have a great net worth. They can keep the plan. And once you have two properties, right now, let's just say using your average rents right now, you have two properties paid in full. I would do a fourplex and a house if it were me, right? The fourplex will be bringing in about $2,500 a month, and your house hopefully will bring in $1,500, $1,600 a month, or $1,300, $1,200, whatever it might be, right? So that's, what would that be, $3,600 or so, right? Minus your taxes, your insurance, you know, whatever it is that you're paying on them, because you don't have mortgages at that point. You have Social Security, you've got cash flow, you've got net worth. How does that look compared to your average person in the bank, truly? And all they did is buy a house and keep it, and bought 2 homes along the way.
But not many today have done that.
No,
That's savvy, yeah.
yeah, it's not hard. Owning a home for the right reasons is one of the best things you could ever do. 100%. Any questions, any thoughts? Let's see, who joined us? Fred?
That's Fred.
Cool. Okay. So, all right. So, mortgage rates, we talked about those things. Let's go ahead and pop into, because I know Mom had 1 or 2. I know I'm going to put you on the spot, Kim, because I know you had 1 too. Wins and lessons learned over the last month. We've had some great stuff happen. I know, well, everybody knows about like Julie and John, the hires with property management. They've been a huge asset. And Julie is, she's been so kind to help us out on so many things. So yesterday she actually went through paperless pipeline, and we redid our checklists, so they actually make a lot more sense. They're a lot easier on everybody else. You're not going to be getting emails all the time like you are. And so they've been huge, huge, huge assets. And I know she actually got a contract. I think she got a rental taken care of and everything. So wins there. Daryl, huge asset. In case anybody wasn't aware, but Daryl took on management about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. Seems like 10 years by now, probably. And him and Tatiana have worked wonders for stuff, putting systems in place and actually just taking over and putting the systems in place that will take us into the future. It's wonderful, and we've gotten a lot of compliments from a lot of our owners, which is, in property management, that says a lot.
Yeah.
You don't get compliments from owners in management. So as far as hopefully moving forward, you're going to see on my side, because things are finally in place. Royal Village, the big apartment complex, we're actually at a positive for this month. We have a net plus in rentals, so we're trucking in the right direction. And then, yeah, let's go ahead and share some others, because every single one of these contributes to the smile on the face. So, putting you guys on the spot, who would like to go first?
Go ahead.
I got my first client last night.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, she's actually going to be listing her home, and she's buying too.
Oh, we love those twofers.
Yeah, so that's a win-win.
Somebody here, Tucson?
Tucson.
Okay, good for you.
Yeah.
But go ahead and tell about the other referral then too, because you got the potential of another one here local too.
Oh yeah, one in Mesa from a family friend.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's a first-time home buyer, and she's younger. She's kind of like my niece, but yeah. So she's got a bunch of friends her age, like right around 25. They're all starting to buy their first homes.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it was funny because she called me and she's like, I don't know why I didn't think about this, but I've been referring all these people to my agent that I used when I bought my home, but can I just start sending everybody to you? And I'm like, yeah, please. So, yeah.
Cool. And if you don't mind sharing a little bit more, because it's all about the relationships and the rapport. How did your appointment go yesterday? Like the structure of it?
Really well. I kind of went into it without panicking or stressing over every little detail and what I needed to say. She actually picked the location, and I know her because I had her daughter for a couple of classes. She's 21 now, so she's going to graduate in a couple of years or so. And yeah, she really just wanted to talk and fill me out, and it was kind of funny, but her daughter told me, she's like, yeah, my mom doesn't really always trust white people very much. So she was just kind of like feeling me out to make sure that we got along well. We spent like the first 40 minutes talking and just about all kinds of different random things. And then by the time we got to the end of it, it was like 20 minutes of business talk, and it was kind of a done deal. So it was definitely nice having that connection to her, and then that we hit it off so well and had that great conversation, and that she obviously felt comfortable and confident with me. So, yeah, but
Yeah.
I love how you guys talked for a while, and it was just that, and when she was fully comfortable, you knew you had it, because you guys, she just knew you, and she felt 100% comfortable with you, and that's awesome. And it's the teaching atmosphere and attitude, and it's a huge asset when you come across as a teacher, a friend, a guide, someone that's truly here like, whatever your needs are, that's what I'm here for. It doesn't matter, I don't have any agenda here, it's you tell me what you need and that's gonna be the win. And as long as you keep that at heart, you're never gonna get commission, Brad. You're always gonna help people and you're gonna make them do what they need to do because it's the right thing to do. You're not gonna yield because it's like, oh, well, they said this, well, it's, okay, but is that truly what needs to happen? Guide them. It's your world. They wanna buy a house, it's our world. We help them do it. And we just, and it's awesome. So, Mom, go ahead. You got a couple different things over the last couple of weeks. What's been going on?
Well, what's great is, like you said, because of the relationship, you know, being able to take care of our gal that we had her vacation home, but to be able to list and to sell it in a very short period of time and give her top dollar, but to walk her through it and even work with a difficult agent that didn't quite want to do her due diligence, and for me, kind of like sticking up to my guns and saying, nope, I'm so sorry, you know, this is your responsibility and you need to take care of it and stuff. And so, anyway, that was cool, and it was kind of one of those things too, that on the day that it closed, Linda had flown in from Canada, and so what is she supposed to do when the house closes, because the house isn't hers then? And so we spent the afternoon together. So I picked her up, you know, we took care of stuff, I took her to the airport, and it was just, and she kept saying, you don't have to do this. Like, you're right, I don't have to do it, but I said, I'm very selfish. I said, I don't know if I'm gonna get to see you again, and I would love to have this opportunity, so can I spend the afternoon with you? You know, are there other things I could do? Absolutely. But I wouldn't trade that time that we had, you know, whatsoever.
Awesome.
So I thought that was great, and as a result, you know, Nextdoor had us come and do a listing presentation. I think it was more for him to find out what he could do to sell it himself, but I'll keep bugging him, you know, just to keep my name out there and stuff, which I think is great. I love that, you know, you now get to do your own advertising, you know, home sold, you know, whatever. But the other thing too is because of the relationship with Les and them, that they're ready to put the house up, and so it'll be going on the market today, and so that'll be fun, because that one's not going to be on the market very long at all. It has too many good things, and I think we have it priced at an excellent range. And then even my other listing on Squaw Valley, just being, you know, hanging in there, it looks like looks like I'm going to have a buyer. And so it's like, oh, so I'm glad about that. You know, so it's just things that persistent, but I am also recognizing, like you said, I need to be more faithful in my advertising. So in other words, house sold, or, you know, house on the market one day, you know, before going under contract. Anything that says, I want to keep your listing.
In this market, most homes rightfully priced, you know, a few other asterisks involved, will sell themselves. It's our job to make sure we get the returns from it. We need to stay in business.
Yeah.
For every single home, no matter what, a buyer, great, we sold them a home. Now, what are you going to do from there?
One more.
Well, yeah, but how?
Yeah.
And that's the system you need to put in place. And that's not an if, this is how we stay in business. So, for example, what are some things we can do when we have a buyer close to try to generate more sales from that? Okay, so you have a couple different perspectives, and this is actually, let me start writing, haha. All right, so, buyers, okay? This is how we guarantee our business. Okay, this isn't very, what's something we can do? Our buyer just closed. Okay, we want more business.
All right, well, the suggestion is we go into Real Geeks and I create an ad that says, just sold.
There we go. Okay, just sold that. Perfect, just sold. Okay? Now, here's where I'm going to throw a little one in. people don't know the difference per se, right? And here's the beauty about having a house. When do we get it under contract? Whenever we do, right? But when do we close? Usually.
Usually it's 30 to 45 days.
Okay? So, can we run one ad saying, under contract on both sides? Whether it's buyer or seller, can you run an ad saying, we got this home under contract? Does that allude to things without necessarily being dishonest by any means? For lack of a better term, a lay person would see under contract and think you sold a home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which we kind of did. We got the contract.
We're true.
It hasn't closed yet,
Mhm.
Right.
so that means in 30 days you could run another one saying just sold. Okay, milk them both. Seriously. Under contract, you either sold a home or you helped that buyer find the right home. Let people know. And then run that next ad, just sold, right?
Tom's mom.
Tom's
fell
mom
over.
fell
Oh.
over yesterday, so I've been waiting for that call to figure out what they were gonna do with her.
So, okay, so just sold, right? There's several different ways to do just solds. And, oh, I wish I saved that. Somebody just posted one last night, and I should have saved it, knowing we were gonna talk about this. Okay, in Real Geeks, under contract, if it's your listing, you can run an ad specifically from your listing, okay? Because it automatically brings in all of yours, right?
Oh.
And you just put different verbiage to it, just sold, just whatever, right, under the stuff. If it's not your listing, just go into the MLS or whatever, go out in front of the house and take a picture. And all you need to do is put, like on your phone, I know you have the ability to edit and just either write on there, just sold, with your finger all nasty and fun, or you can actually type it in, just sold, and just put it right down the picture. And then you just post that picture, right? But then put your phone number and have people call. Or you could run that, put that picture in Real Geeks and run the traffic back to you directly inside Real Geeks. So there's several just under contract ones that you absolutely can take advantage of. But there's one more powerful than any. Good lessons, but not the ones we want right now. Okay, so my memory card filled up, so sorry I spent most of the time on it. Now, what was your big takeaway from Brian? I love how he speaks. He's a great communicator.
I need to be poor so I don't have to pay money to the taxes.
It's one way of looking at it.
I am poor and I have to pay them anyway.
Yeah. But there's a difference between transactional agents and relational agents.
Yeah.
And that's Brian Buffini's big takeaway. And that's why, as you can see, Julie picked the right coach in having Brian Buffini. He is all about the Popeyes, all about creating the relationships. Yuri, you can find a billion people you don't know, may or may not like, may or may not do anything, or you can create a wonderful network of people you know and referrals. And so his plan is awesome. And if you don't have a good guide that's helping you lay out your foundation, whether it's the Breakthrough Plan, Brian Buffini, Tom Ferry, any of them have great plans. If it fits your personality, your drive, your why, nothing's going to stop you. It's amazing. So in the email I sent out the other day, I asked to bring 3 things with you. The first question would be, what?
First question was, what's the biggest strength that you had for this quarter?
What do you think has been your biggest asset so far this year?
I put down 2 things. I said building relationships with the client, and I'll add to that, but I just said building relationships. I've kept a book, and I should have brought my book, but a book of the people that I actually speak to, because 98%, I wouldn't say 98%, I would say 70% of the leads I have, I never get to talk to. So those that I actually have relationships with, that I actually speak to, that I know their name, and I know a little bit about them, I know what the dog's name is, I know their husband or wife's name, you know, I actually have a relationship, so I'm building relationships with those people. And the second one was actually keeping up on the leads that I have, even though I may not actually speak with them, I'm up on all my leads, except for the ones for yesterday. And the day before it, yesterday, I think.
Cool.
So,
Cool. So up and follow up, making sure you're up on it. Big asset. Good strength to have. Yes. Anybody else? Big strength so far. Like, what's been your biggest asset that's helped you succeed or helped you accomplish whatever so far this year?
I don't know about, Daryl or Kim, but I know the biggest thing that's helped me, especially with the first sale, is that just being persistent in the follow-ups. And even though I may not have heard from them, I still maintain that contact, because then when she was ready in January, she was ready. And it was all because I had kept the contact, so I appreciate, and so I upped on my game there. And I think that was a key thing.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. I know it had not a lot of huge thing to build on, but you've had a lot of great responses from a lot of people, students, coworkers, people. What do you think has led to that?
Relationships. And just putting myself out there, I guess.
Yeah. How about you?
Same.
So far.
Same. I think my biggest challenge, I don't know about successes, my challenge is staying on top of it. You know, just, that's probably my biggest, every day comes and goes and I'm not able to connect with those, so.
I'd say
my sphere is large, but my efforts are not as commensurate with my sphere.
I can say, to go back to strength so far though, right when you kind of made the transition over, you did have a mega breakthrough when you were standing up to people a lot more. Instead of yielding to, hey, thank you, you were actually, hey, you were looking at this, let's do this, I think you should do this. No, I don't think you were standing up a lot more. It's one thing coming from customer service, yes or no, sir, no ma'am, yes ma'am, whatever. And then, but it's another when you come in, hey, there's the man.
Oh,
Yes.
is that why my ears were burning?
let's see. The picture looks a little bit like
Kind of, sort of. I mean, they photoshopped it really well, so.
Everybody, if you haven't met Michael yet, this is Michael.
How are you? How are you, love?
I'm Kim.
Oh, nice to meet you. Now you put a.
Yeah.
So, cool. We'll just finish up with our little spiel, and then I'll let you come back and take over a bit, because I actually had a lot of questions as far as lenders go today. When it came to real estate, it's providing service, but kind of in a interesting way, because you're dealing with people that are very stressed out a lot of the time, people that are very reactive a lot of the time, people that are operating off of weird information that may or may not be the best, and we're having to help them come to their realizations that they need to. And that's not the easiest thing. If we let everybody submit the offer they want, what would every offer be? Yeah, okay, and if we let every seller list at the price they want their home to be listed at, where would those be? So we have to guide people a lot, and it's not the easiest thing. And you have to know when's appropriate and when's not. And time and experience, is where that comes from, truly. And it's not easy. So that was a huge step that I saw you make. In real estate, or property management's definitely pushing that even more. So you'll be able to run circles around everybody moving forward, that's for sure. So, but yeah, same thing. To go back to now question 2, what was it again? What was your?
what has been your biggest weakness
quote
this
unquote.
quarter.
Yeah, what's been the hardest part this quarter?
For me, the fact that I've had no sales, and then my second one, that I've doubled up on some of these, was I've had 2 listing appointments without results. And in those listing appointments, one I'm still working on, which I'm not giving up on this one lady. The second one was a referral from Roy, and it was a cold call. And the gentleman, and you kind of touched on it today, and I meant to bring it up when you did, is that he was not willing to sell his house unless he could get out of his house the amount of money he's put in it plus interest. And he bought the house in 2008 on a short sale, but then he has put in so much, I mean, from what you look at the house of what it looked like in 2008 and what you look at it right now, I mean, he has put in
Too much.
$15,000 plus all this surround sound stuff and cameras and whatever. I mean, and
Oh, I think he knows Tommy.
yeah. I mean, he's put in so much of this, and you know, and
Tommy didn't put any money
and
in the house.
the market
I know,
isn't
but
there.
still.
Yeah.
The amount of money, because I did my real due diligence on comps for his house, and he says, no, he said, I would,
He's not serious though.
Here's,
well, he wasn't serious me walking into it, he just wanted to kind of listen to what I had to say.
remind me to come back, because I want to let everybody else speak, but you raise a good question that I'd love to talk about. With the market being where it's at today, you have prices are amazing. Selection as far as being a seller is exactly where you want it to be. People going before interest rates go up anymore. I mean, everything's stacking the deck. So how do you get somebody like a seller like Solano, right?
Tommy, yeah.
Yeah, oh, okay, that's what you, how do you get them to acknowledge that it may not be as great as you think it is, but it's still the best time ever to do it? You know, how do you get them to acknowledge that fact? It's tough.
Well, he was saying, I never even thought about selling my house until this gentleman called me.
And I think Tom Ferry would have, his scripts and stuff might be a great one to possibly read to, help, I think, address this gentleman. But obviously, he's not dealing with reality for one thing, but he's not educated.
Yeah.
He thinks he is, but he's not.
Well, and he said, I don't need to sell it,
Yeah.
you know?
But then,
Yeah,
Right,
and
I mean,
that's,
he didn't,
the motivation is something you're never gonna be able to get past. If
Right,
they're
I
not
mean, he
motivated,
said, you know, he said, I didn't call this guy, you called me, I just, you know,
He's bored.
he said, I just came, you know, I allowed you to be here because I just was curious. Was the only reason that he
Mhm.
accepted the appointment, which is fine, you know.
yeah, when you have a motivated seller, you have a motivated seller.
Oh, absolutely.
When they don't have a motivation behind it,
He
it
is
may or
not.
may not ever happen, and those are the times where you're walking eggshells the entire time too, because they could just cancel it all. It's like, well, they want this, all right, well, we're done, you know? And it's never a good place, so that's where putting your boundaries in play too. You know, I'm only gonna list if this, and this line up. If they don't, you know you're in for an uphill battle, and to what extent are you willing to bite off those chunks? You know,
Yeah.
like with Tom, or whatever his name was, if it was within reason, that's where when we walked in, it's like, okay, we think it'll sell here, but we're willing to go here. And then he reneged and came back here.
Right.
And
That's what this guy was doing too.
And
Right.
Yeah.
at that point in time, and historically speaking, that's a huge red flag. Okay? People need to be people of their word. And if they say this and then come back afterward, it's like at that point it's like it's in your ballpark. Can you sell it or not? And if you know you can't sell it, then I would be honest. There's no way I could sell it from that. I wish I
Market's
could.
not
Trust me.
gonna bear that.
I would get a bigger check. You'll get more money. Trust me. I wish I could. Believe you me.
What's the possibility too of saying, I'll tell you what, you know, it sounds like you kinda know what you want and how you're gonna do it. And so in a month, 6 weeks, if you haven't had any action or anything, then I'd like for us to talk again and reconsider.
Yep.
because I will show you how we can make this work.
Yeah. Anybody else? My big thing too over the last 2 months has been time blocking and scheduling. I have not followed up. I have not been doing the ads like I need to be. I have not been calling agents like I need to be, and that's been. I have not been holding myself to a schedule.
I think that's a key thing is the schedule. It's been kind of hard to set a schedule.
Yeah. Well, you're slowly getting down to the amount of hours in a week that are even just necessary to accomplish what you.
But isn't it still amazing when you look at all that you've been able to accomplish, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
We've done a lot over the last 2 months, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, anybody else as far as quote-unquote weaknesses that we were gonna try to talk, because that leads to question 3.
And what was question 3?
Question 3 is, what is your one big commitment this quarter? Question 3 has a couple of conditions. It might be tangible, physical action leading to an actual recordable result. Example, I'll make 100 calls a week. Each week, goal to get to appointments from these efforts. I will track and log them
Via
via
whatever,
such and such
yeah.
a touch.
So if your goal is to time block, what are your documentable things that we could help hold that accountable?
Hour of power.
During what time and what time?
What day of the week are we talking about?
Well, that's what the homework was. Okay, so let's go ahead and take the next, if you haven't done it yet,
So,
this is what we're gonna do for right now, okay? Is take the next 5 minutes and write down, what is the one commitment you're gonna make? Kinda like the 4DX or whatever you wanna think. Like, cause we can't focus on 10 different things and accomplish them all.
No.
But we're gonna make one commitment, and we're gonna hold to it for this next 3 months. Okay, whether it's 100 calls a week, 1 hour of power, holding one open house, whatever it might be, this is our commitment.
So I have mine, and that is to work with Josh on, using Cole to tackle Anthem, to set at least 3 appointments with a minimum of 1 sale and 1 listing.
Nice.
In
And that's
3
per
months?
month, or is
No,
that?
in the 3 months.
within-
In 3 months.
Okay. We can certainly do that. Cool.
My goal is to hopefully.
No, dip.
No.
Nope, I'm sorry, this says rules. There's no hopefullys. This is.
All right. So,
This is worse than the nursing meetings.
oh, 8:30 to 9:30 in the morning is the best time for me to do that hour of power.
Yeah, if you don't think you're gonna do it, then you're not gonna do it already, I can promise you. So, say it with gusto, say it with confidence, and we'll make it
Just
happen.
being realistic, 8:30 to 9:30 is that hour of power.
Okay.
And I would like to be able, the goal is Monday through Thursday,
So, okay, so,
you know.
and then what are you going to accomplish with those hours of powers?
Well, as a result, I will have, if not the 1 listing, but at least 1 sale on the board, 2 a month. I have to have 2 a month.
So you said Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 9:30. Okay. Now, what are you gonna be using to tackle that? Are you gonna be doing, calling internet leads? What are you gonna be, database?
It's
What are
gonna
you
be a
doing?
combination of not only the internet, but the database, because it forces me to put my database into use. And that means creating my MailChimp, my
Database
ads,
and
yeah.
internet? Okay.
And weekly do an ad.
And 1 ad a week. Okay. And then, so with that, and then your goal, you're going to accomplish what from that? What's your goal?
I'm hoping that the goal is to have at least 2 sales a month, whether it's the listing, the results and purchase of that
2
home,
sales,
or-
1
yeah,
listing, and one buyer?
Yeah, and I think that's realistic.
Okay. So for that though, just to tie those 2 in together, for you to get 1 listing and 1 buyer, how many appointments are you gonna need to make during those weeks? Cause you're probably gonna need 2 to 3 listing appointments and at least, 2 to 3 buyers during that time. So if you were doing your calls and everything, let's say you're, with the 5 ones, how many appointments would you need? Probably
That means
2 to.
at least 2 a week.
2 a week, I'd say,
Mhm.
yeah. So let's make your appointment by doing your hour power, 8:30 to 9:30, you're gonna do your database, internet, and your ad, and your goal is to get 2 appointments a week, which will lead to 2 sales a month. Who, what, by when? What, how, but. Perfect. Good one.
I have a lot.
Choose one. 'Cause don't overwhelm. Or two.
Okay. Well, I gotta figure out, first of all, MLS. We gotta just get that taken care of, so I can actually take this client and start showing her homes right away. So that's like immediately. And then, figuring out everything with Real Geeks, setting up MailChimp, like getting all of that going, getting my database into Real Geeks. There's lots of little stuff.
So you're gonna do
But big stuff.
breakthrough breakout training session 1?
Right. I already have.
Well, you watched it, now you're in the
Yeah,
midst
I
of doing
have to-
all the homework,
yeah.
cause yeah, that's like the first
That's
week
pretty much
of homework,
it for
yeah.
me, is just being able to get through each one of those and do all the homework that comes with it.
Boom. That's cool. Alright, so what can we, this one's a little tougher, okay? Cause you are a new agent and it's, yours is just a lot of work. So let us know what we can be doing to help you out, guide you, help you with questions, okay? When you go on that first appointment, it would have been tough, but you know, someone could try to avail themselves to be there with you. You know, when you go to your first listing appointment, we'll make sure you have whoever you need with you, or your first open house, make sure you have all those guides and everything. So as you're reaching each new step, feel free, reach out to one of us to kind of help with it.
Yeah.
Gladly. Absolutely.
The goal is to make you succeed.
So what do you want us by next, let's see, because you're doing basically the Thursdays too, so is there anything we could help you out with between today and next Thursday? Not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow. What would you like to have accomplished, or what can we help with that?
That's the main thing, is I need to do, I have a lot of stuff, but we already.
Okay, well, we can't really help with that one
Yeah,
other than.
but we called and stuff
Yeah.
and figured that out, so.
Okay, so she is, you got a few leads in Real Geeks, and she's got a mega database, so, and she's gonna be setting up her open house, her grand opening. She even found, that was it, last night's phone call had so many things. She even found the perfect house, hopefully that could be for her mega, grand opening.
Oh, nice.
And they want to potentially, they have it listed, or they're getting ready to list with another person.
They were getting ready to list, yeah.
But it's the perfect house in the best neighborhood that has everything that they want, and then she hopefully help find a buyer, and they're open people hopefully, so.
Is this in Tucson or the one in?
Yeah, in
Yeah,
Tucson.
all right.
Yeah, it's one of the, I guess, how did you describe it, as far as Tucson neighborhoods go? It was not too high, but not too low, it was like, yeah.
It's definitely a really nice neighborhood. It was just a place a lot of people want to be on the northwest side, but it's just before you get into the areas where the prices skyrocket, so.
Perfect, yeah, like a 300,000 person.
I gotta find her.
Cool, all right, Daryl.
I didn't put sleep on this, I should probably have sleep with my
Silver
reading.
Oh, is there something that I missed on mine?
Well, that's personal, not professional.
Like, it's Taro Farms?
Yeah.
You know, hour of power I definitely need to implement. I need to get it back into open houses. I've not had any open houses. I would like to commit to a minimum of 5 sales in the next 90 days. I think that's a very reasonable target. Database, MailChimp that everybody's kind of talked about, and then get back into posting my ads. I have not been diligent about doing my facing. If I sit down, I can do an ad within 5 minutes from Real Geeks to Facebook. I can do it pretty fast.
Good at it too.
It's a matter of time. It's just, with what I'm doing, I just have to triage things, and what happens is I start this, and then Charlotte comes in, or you come in, it's like, what was I doing? So that's my day. You know, and honestly, by the time I get home at night, I'm so spent I can't even think about doing. You know, so if I get home at like 8 o'clock, it's like, what was I supposed to do?
I'm not offended if your door is closed and I knock on it and you say, can you come
I
back
don't
in
function that
15
way.
minutes?
I don't function that way. I
Me
don't
too.
function that way. So if Michael calls me and I'm in church, I won't call him immediately, but I will call him after church to let him know that.
Yeah, it's the Lord speaking right now.
Actually, Daryl doesn't respond to the phone because I get dirty looks when I look at my phone or any mass.
So, perfect, though. Shoot, speaking of that, forgot to get back to Trent, yes.
So to my knowledge, Rob and Nathan were able to take down the garage thing or whatever they're.
Yep, it's Dad sent me a picture, it's awesome. Okay, cool, so we wrote pretty much everything down, so with our group, let's try to help each other out over this next week or so. Now, I'll let Mike speak for the next few minutes, and then when he's done, I would like if we could just take a few minutes, because keep holding yourself accountable on a regular basis, just making sure you're online, and believe it or not, up front, it's kind of intimidating, but as you see yourself accomplishing things, it actually motivates you. So it goes from an uphill battle that's scary to something that's motivating to actually the force that's keeping you pushed at the end of the year and whatnot. And so this is a really quick, easy, John, my coach, just sent this out to me this last week. And it's just a really quick, easy monthly business plan. And it sets the amount of appointments that you want to set, how you want to set them, from where, and kind of keeps you tracked, and daily blocked schedule. And it's just really simple. So if you can take the time for March, since it's perfect, well, April, sorry, set it up for April and try it out. All right, Michael, it's all you. Thank you, sir. I texted him at what, 9:50?
I didn't know, so I was like, looking at my email, I was like, shit, I don't know if he sent me a text or an email. All I know is he sent from 10 to 12. So I was like, ran over.
Oh, thank you.
What questions did you guys have? Let's start there.
Well, there's been a lot of activity in the mortgage market so far this year, and then one of the things that do you ever watch the National Real Estate Post guys? They're funny, you know, and they just did the other day about ARMs coming back and stuff. So it's been, you know, with interest rates rising, lenders do get creative, and things are happening. So yeah, catch us up.
So yeah, I mean, ARMs have kind of always been around. Unfortunately, with rates going up, me personally, I don't really find that the ARMs are beneficial.
That's what we decided.
Yeah, because a lot of times everyone thinks, oh, the ARMs are a lot cheaper. The rates are running pretty much parallel to a 30-year fixed. So to me, why gamble? Unless you absolutely know you're only going to keep that property for 5 years. Otherwise, I don't even push them. I don't really like them. Just like we don't push the 1% down mortgages that you'll have a lot of companies pushing, because to me that's financing the problems of tomorrow. So I just don't do them. I'll do them if they ask, but I don't go in my way. So rates right now, even with clients, you know, 740 credit scores plus, 30-year fixed, 20% down, we're running like 4.75%. It's just kind of what it is across the board, FHA, VA, and conventional. We have little fluctuations, you know, maybe an eighth to a quarter over a week, but nothing major. Normally I try to do my locks. I try to do 10-day locks when I can, for the reason being that the pricing's better, where I can actually give the client a credit towards their closing costs, prepaids, all of that. If they're a little too antsy about it, I'll do 25-day locks. Really just depends on them, so how well I can feel them out. Turn times have pretty much stayed the same. Right now my average closing 20 days on FHA and conventional. VA is about 25 days if it's here in the valley. If it's outlying areas, sometimes it's a little bit longer because it takes a little bit longer to get an appraiser out there. Commercial, we can broker commercial. Commercial runs about 30 to 45 days. Again, a lot of that has to do with the client, because it's a lot more paperwork intensive on their side. What else? Reverse mortgages are still a no-go in the active adult communities. Reason being is because the way the CC&Rs are written, when the house goes to foreclosure, the HOA becomes first lien, and FHA doesn't like that. So they're in the process of trying to rewrite CC&Rs to allow these again. Why it's been an issue, because we've been doing reverse mortgages in these communities for years. I don't know. My guess is they probably just got burned on a few too many of them. So that's in the process.
Are they actually, they're trying to claim, the HOAs are legitimately claiming the homes? Like,
I have not seen one do it.
Okay.
Because ultimately the servicer or whoever, you know, the investor is just gonna cut them a check for, you know, the $4,500 transfer fee and all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it's more of a CYA thing that they're doing. So it's just getting a lot of pushback. So, but now that HUD's involved, the HOAs are working on making amendments. So,
Interesting.
because that's where 99% of those loans are going to be originated. So,
I think,
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Speak to mobile homes?
we can do manufactured. It needs to be at least a double wide. We can do single wide, they get brokered out, but the rates are a little bit higher on those. So that's not an issue. Down payment assistance programs, do them all day long, every day. I know you will find lenders who, yes, they will do your pre-qual for a down payment assistant one, but they'll drag their feet because a lot of the brokerages on the lender side, they lose money on them. They're not profitable. But we adjust how we do things to accommodate that, so at least we're covering our costs. Ultimately, it's about just getting the deal done, whether we make money or lose money. What else on the lending side? That's pretty much about it. Nothing much has changed. Rates are holding pretty steady. I would guarantee that probably by July, August, we'll be in the 5s.
Have we had 2 so far this year, or just 1 actual?
So Fed raised the rate a quarter, I want to say it was like last week, might have been 2 weeks ago. But we already had that priced into rates. We were already expecting it, so it was just priced in, so there's no interest rate shock that we've already had. So we've not seen any issues with it.
Good.
Which has been nice.
Are you saying by July though, you're saying like
I venture to say we'll be in the 5s. So, especially with the way, like pending home sales, I mean, we were estimating 2.1% month over month, we're at 3.1, so it was substantially higher. GDP for the 4th quarter was revised from 2.5 to 2.9. We were expecting it to be somewhere in about 2.7. So there's a lot of positive for the market, negative for rates.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the way it works. Otherwise, that's pretty much about it in regards to rates. I sent out quite a few of you the login for list reports to sign up.
Terrible.
Don't take after him. So list reports, I don't think I have my plug-in for it. Anyway, so list reports, what it does is as soon as your listing goes active on the MLS, within, usually I tell everyone 24 hours, it will create all of your marketing. Single property website, open house flyers, promotional flyers for you to throw in the box, a lovely little infographic about what's available, you know, within like basically a mile radius of the property. So it'll show you everything that's available. So, and then it does, again, your single property websites. Everything's branded for you, talks about the property. Just makes it nice and user friendly.
And it doesn't matter, so like our properties up at Black Canyon City and stuff. we
Doesn't
can
make a
still-
difference.
okay.
Yeah, it's all through associated with the MLS, and as soon as you put it on, it
Alright, so
automatically takes care of it. Yeah.
Cool.
That's what it just registered the ones. Oh. Alright.
So, and it has the same thing, it's got that same infographic and all of that. And then anyone who, like, you can push it right to your Facebook for marketing, all of that.
nice.
Okay.
So everything's
great.
on there. Same thing with open house flyers. You can push all of those.
Can't read them somewhere.
Yeah.
Change lender.
You're talented, Michael.
And then it also does listing presentation. So if you have someone you're going out on a presentation for, and you know, you guys have got all of your stuff, and they wanna know, well, what are you doing online for us? This gives you a full listing presentation, so, that you can run through. Sample, this is what you're gonna get created, this is how it's taken care of, gives you information about, you know, you can pick one of like the other properties you guys have listed here at the branch, or your brokerage here, and just to give them something else to show what you're doing for them, because ultimately, sellers like something tangible, you can touch, play with, so you can even send this to them ahead of time, so that they can look through it, you know, while you guys are sitting there, bring your iPad, run through it. So, also does postcards. So you can do your just listed, just sold, in escrow, all of that. And then there are sign writers that you can do. So we can get them for just the office, and it's so they can text whatever their code is to 87707, whatever, and it sends them the link to the single property website, captures all of their information, and then sends it to you. So that's another thing that's taken care of. So I know there's a lot of other companies that do it. There used to be costs associated with it. I know when I used to pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
It was expensive. It's taken care of through this. So really your only out-of-pocket expense is the sign writers.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so that, we're working on an app, so it'll be Android and iPhone friendly. So when you're out with clients, you can send it to them. They can do their full loan app if they want, right there on their phone while you're out wandering around. Kind of the other thing we always hear is, you know, it's such a pain in the butt to have to scan documents or, you know, whatnot. Through that app, they can take photos of their documents and it uploads it right to their loan file.
Oh, cool.
Sweet.
Also, as agents, you'll, you know, along with my normal emails that you'll get, you know, appraisal order and all of that, you'll get push notifications through the app. Appraisal's been ordered, appraisal's been received, just to keep you guys apprised of what's going on.
Cool.
We know you can't be in front of your email all the time. So, that's about it really.
Cool. Appreciate it. So, yes, this is neat. Have to check that out because it sounds like a nice alternative to listing power tools for the most part. Yeah.
I'm working out, cool.
Yeah. So we'll see.
That always makes a big difference.
Yeah. Neat. All right. Yeah, thanks, Mike. If anything else you think of, just holler out. Just to finish up here, because we're right at noon, almost perfect time. Cool. So a lot of you have been hearing me go on and on and on about my new training program that I'm putting together, and it is legitimately, I hope it's going to be kind of like a boot camp, and it's 9 sessions, and I know I kind of switched it a few times in when I'm speaking, saying weeks, and I tried to get off of that because the first session is an hour-long video, but it probably has 3 to 4 hours worth of homework minimum. The second video is about 2.5 hours long, but it probably has about a week's worth of homework. And so, but by the end of the 9 weeks, it walks you through from the start to finish of every aspect of the business, from the different parts of setting it up, from the accounting to your lead, to your advertising, to, you know, all your time blocking, all the way through. This is how you create a template. This is how you go over your contracts. So I'm going through every bit. So I'm sending it out to people sporadically for reviews, because this is, I want this to be my breakthrough by design, my whatever Brian Buffini's program is, Floyd Wickman's Sweat Hawks course, whatever it is. This is, I want it to be the master breakthrough thing. Knowledge is key in our business, and it's been hard as a broker trying to get you guys the knowledge, the training that you need. You guys are free to do whatever you want. So like getting you guys, trying to convey, please come in for 4 hours and let's make phone calls, is tough to get you guys to do, you know? And so if I want to have this as our training program where if they come in to do it, great, it's available to everybody on their own, partnering up, and I hope it's going to be really, really neat. And if we could all get on board touting it to other agents, like our training program is great, it's hard. Most agents won't do it. And that's why they're not going to be as awesome as we are, you know? You know, we're going to have successful agents because they have the grit to do the hard stuff. By the 3rd week, they're making calls. Easy, 100 calls a week. Like, they have created their database. Raise your hand if it took you more than a month into the business to get your database put together.
Oh.
Raise your hand if you haven't done as many open houses this year as you were planning on. You know, all of these things, and that's what's going to set them aside. And so here's my first video, and so funny. I've sent the first video, the actual first session, out to I think 7 people, and not one person caught it until Julie. And you gotta love Julie because she's got that attention. I misspelled I misspelled breakthrough on the very first session, on the very first video, and not one person caught it until yesterday. How do you misspell your own name?
Now,
And all of us saw it.
I know when I got the email, it was spelled wrong, but when I pulled it up, I thought it was spelled
Well,
right.
our St. Patrick's Day ad, yeah, had
Oh, okay.
that was, but
Okay.
yeah, and I've sent it out to everybody, and not one person caught it until Julie. It's hilarious. So this is, I know you guys have heard it, but this is the kind of little teaser. Hi, my name is Josh Ezel. I'm the owner of Breakthrough Real Estate Property Management. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're so excited you made the decision to join the Breakthrough Real Estate team. We pride ourselves in having one of the best training programs available in the industry. Now, by having one of the best training programs, it does not mean it's the easiest. It's actually probably one of the toughest in the industry, but it's that way for a reason. Statistics show more than 80% of agents don't succeed in real estate, not breakthrough real estate agents. We pride ourselves on being the exception to that rule. Our training program helps you build the right foundation starting day one so you can take your real estate career and accomplish all of your goals and attain all of your dreams. That's why you got into real estate, right? So it is a full 9 weeks long. It is going to take you out of your comfort zone. And it's going to help you establish processes that you probably have never tried or even knew existed before. But it's that way for a reason. So if I can challenge you right now, it's to embrace this next 9 weeks. It's self-paced, so if you can accomplish everything in 2 weeks, great job. If it takes you 16 weeks, it's still all good. Just take it seriously. Do what is necessary, okay? Do your homework. Take the tests. Make the phone calls. Hold the open houses. Create the list that you need to. Hold yourself to a schedule. There's a lot to it, and it's not going to be easy. But that's exactly why you will succeed. All right? You have the full support of Breakthrough Real Estate behind you, all of our staff, all of our agents. Never hesitate to give any of us a call. Swing by the office. We are all here to help you succeed. All right? Good luck, have fun, and go sell some homes.
Good job.
So it's getting there. Cool. So have the first one, and Julie, I'll go and show you really fast. What Julie sent me was a huge, well, shoot, I don't know where it is. But yeah, I have a whole page full of great suggestions and stuff, so please, like, I can't do them all, obviously, but I want everyone to be as good as possible, obviously. So I'm kind of collecting feedback, and then, because it's not easy. The first session alone took a while. The second session, I think, took 12 or 13 hours. The third session took me about 14 or 15 hours to put together, because they're each adding on to each other. And so I'm adding, like, different clips from, like, Ellen into it, and I have, like, different notes and different things and stuff, like, all getting into it, trying to make it exciting, you know? It's training. There's only so much fun it can be, especially not being live. So I'm trying to bring in other experts, other speakers, different clips from different shows to make it exciting and fun, right? And so, yeah, so if you can, I know it's not the funnest thing in the world, but if I do send you a video, please try to set some time and take notes and help me out with any suggestions. Plus we need like questionnaires for each of them. That way we can create our booklet for people to go through as they're going through it all. Right? And so it's a lot to it, but it's going to be awesome when it's finished. So last thing, finish up here. Positive stuff. Check this out. People doing what they do, accomplishing their dreams. Put this car on my vision board over 3 years ago. And I drove it home. That's $140,000 Tesla, pretty much. Yeah. It's cool. Created board, what you want to accomplish, where you want to go. Dream it, believe it, achieve it. It's awesome. And if you're not part of these groups, join as many as you can, like lab code agents, lead gen scripts and objections. I think this, I don't remember where this one was from. You may just be a friend or whatever. But like the Tom Ferry program, check this out. This was neat. This is a lady at her office. All of her goals.
It's kind of like her list over here.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oops, I don't know why that popped up. No, no, no. Go away. Go away.
Those darn ads.
What are you doing? Ah! That's not at all what I wanted. Where'd she go? Oh, there it is. Okay, I just wanted to pause it so you can actually see what was there. There we go. Okay. So that one's past clients. See, goal. However many, 13, 9 sellers, 4 buyers. So that's the goal. That's her appointments. Check them off as she goes. The people. Yeah. All right, and that's, so that was the past client one, and this is her sphere. See, last year. These are big on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like presentation.
Kind of cool. So social media, I mean, she has it straight across the board. Expireds, yeah. Okay, and then here's the next one. Look at this. This was awesome. 136 people came through. But they put it out there, win an iPad. If you put it out there, advertise it, you're going to have trucks, that you're going to have a real drawing for something significant. People will show up. You know, if you say we have a $5 drawing for Starbucks, you're going to get $5 worth of effort. You know, I'll drive about a minute for a $5 gift card. You know, yeah.
Also, any of your guys' open houses, if you want either myself or there's another LO who's under me present, let us know. We have no problem.
How far in advance?
How far do you normally book out your open houses? That's fine.
I didn't actually watch the video for the open house. That's a new hood and oven.
But look at the counter.
Yeah, look at the tile counters.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And the
that's
cabinets.
dated, that's
And
dated
that
4 times.
refrigerator.
Yeah, that's 12-inch tile or 8-inch
I love
maybe.
the refrigerator.
And the pull out, what do you call that?
Cutting board
The
there.
cutting board.
Yeah, and that's probably like a $5,000 oven set on top of that.
But it's a
Yeah.
cool dining table. Look
Yeah.
at the chairs.
Here's our,
And
oh
just the
man.
regular flat white
Cool.
cabinets.
Yeah, interesting. All right, we'll give you feedback.
Awesome. All right, guys, well, that's all I had for today, so thank you so much for your time.